Hey sports fans, Neil here at the Fix Yourself channel. A while back I had a video to show you how you can remove a hose clamp that won't come loose for whatever reason. Turning the screw will not loosen the hose clamp. And using your welder to just burn the hose clamp off. It works particularly good in those situations where a hose clamp is hard to reach. But you know, it works so well and so fast. It's also a good way to remove a hose clamp that's not hard to reach. One of my viewers, Gordon Short, commented that he's in a situation where the hose clamp he needs to remove is not near a power source that he could plug a welder into, and that got me thinking. Not everybody owns a welder, and there certainly are going to be situations where you might want to remove a hose clamp that's hard to remove. And for whatever reason, even if you have a welder, it's impractical to get the welder near the job that you need to do. So I thought about that for a while, and I realized not everybody has a welder or access to a welder, but just about everybody has access to a car battery and a set of jumper cables. Now the only other thing we're going to need is a piece of copper tubing, and if you don't have one of those, that's easy enough to come by. So let's remove a hose clamp using the car battery and jumper cable method. Okay, so what I got here is I have a set of jumper cables hooked up to a car battery, and I'm going to attach the negative to where the screw part of the clamp is, just because that gives a really good area for the clamp to grab onto. Now at this point, for demonstration purposes, I'm going to take this positive lead off because I don't want it to spark right now. But once got it set up like that, all we'll have to do is take our piece of copper tubing and put it in our positive jumper lead and just touch it right to that hose clamp, and it should just about instantaneously burn through. This is a brand new hose clamp, still got the price tag on it, but I couldn't find an old one. But we're just going to imagine a situation where that screw will turn but will not loosen up the hose clamp. A battery has, you know, a good 400 amps or more in it, so we should have plenty of power to just burn that hose clamp off instantaneously. Now, since I do have a welder, I also have a welding helmet, and I'm going to use that when I do this job, just so I don't have to deal with the arc. Now, obviously, if you don't have a welder, you probably don't have a welding helmet, but I would imagine that you could just turn your head, you know, get that about as close as you need to get it, and then touch it while you're looking in the other direction. I think you could get by doing this job without a welding helmet, but I do strongly advise that you don't look at this arc. It's going to be just as bright as welding when that arc occurs. So let's hook up our positive lead back up to the battery and see if this works. I got my jumper cables hooked up, and let's see if this will burn through this hose clamp here. It did work, sports fans. Not as quick as I thought. I thought that would zap that off just as fast as it would have if I was using a welder. Didn't have quite as much power as I thought I was going to have on that. But it did work, and it worked good enough that I think anybody would be more than happy to use this method if they couldn't find any other way of removing that hose clamp. Let's take a look at the hose itself. You saw a little bit of flame there, so it wasn't instantaneous like when I did it with a welder. However, there doesn't appear, after I wipe it off, there doesn't appear to be any damage to the hose at all. So I'd still call that a fairly decent method for removing a hose clamp that won't come loose when you turn the screw. I hope this is going to help some of you folks out there. They're in a situation where that screw on your hose clamp is turning and it's not coming loose, and you don't have a clue what you're going to do because you're in a situation where there isn't room to put a grinder in there, or you don't have a grinder, or for whatever reason grinding the clamp off isn't an option. I hope that helps some people out. If you liked what you saw here, I'd appreciate it if you liked, shared, subscribed, do everything it takes to make this the #1 channel on YouTube. If you have any comments, put them in the comments section below, and we'll see you again here next time on the Fix Yourself channel.